So today is one of our kiddos' birthdays, and we've done birthdays differently throughout the years. In the beginning, we didn't really have probably had time, but didn't have the finances or the energy. I didn't have the creativity or the finances to throw birthday parties for my children. So we usually would just go over to my parents' house, and my mom would make a cake and we would just celebrate there, like over lunch or something. And as our children got older, they started getting invited to birthday parties of kids in their class. And, there was the Laser Dome, and there was Urban Air, and some of these different cool places where you just rent the place out and however many kids come. Well, I still knew that we couldn't do that to that degree. However, we started doing things with our older ones where they could choose one experience and do it with a friend, like a fun experience that they wouldn't normally do. So maybe we couldn't book out all of Sky Zone, or have a Monkey Joe's birthday party, but we could have them choose one friend and we could take them to Monkey Joe's, or we could take them to Sky Zone. And that was the treat. That was their special thing. Now it's interesting because my younger ones want birthday parties just like the big kids. So they're starting earlier with the special stuff than my big kids did. But I'm also finding that I have more creativity with it, which I think is the key. Like, it doesn't have to be that it matches somebody else's big to do. But like, and I also give my kids choices sometimes. Like, if I have a kiddo that wants to invite everybody, then, instead of, just a minute, buddy, instead of going to Sky Zone with 10 friends, I'll say, well, you can bring one friend to Sky Zone, or we can do a birthday party at home. I will say this too. I did have one kiddo, one of my boys, say that he wanted to have all of his friends over to the house for a birthday party, and I creatively redirected. I love having people over to the house, so it's not even planning and preparing for that, because they did come back and have pizza and stuff. But I also was like, I don't know what a bunch of middle school boys are going to do in my house. Like, it was winter. I was like, I don't want to sit them in front of video games, but I also don't have the creativity. Like, what are they going to do other than sit around and watch, So with that instance, because it was a winter birthday and because my child did want to have like a friend group come over for his birthday, it popped into my mind. One of our neighbors had invited us to their son's birthday party, and it was a situation where it was like a simulator, like a golf simulator. I think they had frisbee, golf, soccer, football. I think those were the 4 things probably. In any case, it was a very low cost hourly to have them there, and it was like something fun and interactive that we can invite people to and that they would enjoy doing, because I think middle school boys are pretty active and want to be engaged in something. So it was a really fun experience. I think we might have had like 5 or 6 friends to that, because we did rent like the smaller room, and I gave them options too. I'm like, do you want the bigger room and then we only stay for an hour? Do you want the smaller room and we stay for 2 hours? Do you want, like, it? We just kind of let them choose. And I think long-term thinking, as they're adults, I think they need to understand creativity in solution parking, and also just the different cost things. Like, okay, if you're going to spend X amount of dollars to take one person to this, well, you also could spend the same amount of money and have 5 people to this, or 10 people at home. And it's like what is important to them. And I think it's interesting to hear that too, because I can't assume for them, oh, well, they're gonna want this, or I just kind of bring a couple options to the table and see what they want to do with it, and then my husband and I just kind of work around that and making that thing special, because then they had a choice in it. So anyway, that's how we've done birthday parties throughout the years. This year we have Hershey Park season passes, and we also have some free tickets, so that was kind of my first offer to one of our kiddos, actually a couple of our kiddos that have more like spring summer birthdays. I'm like, hey, you want to bring a friend to Hershey Park? But then I make it more special too, because we'll go out for dinner where we don't usually go out for dinner, or I'll get extra treats at the park when we don't usually buy treats at the park. But as far as like, how do you do birthdays for 7 children? That's where we're at right now. They can take one friend to a special place, or they can have more kiddos over at our house. But we just try to be creative and see what resources are available to us, and also give our kids some options as they grow older. What's more important to them, to have like a really fun, cool thing with one person, or do they want to enjoy it with a friend group? And if so, like, how can we make that fun and special for them? So anyway, just my thoughts on birthdays, and people on a budget, people with large families. Those are my thoughts.